In today's video, we're going to be taking a close look at one of the UFC's fastest growing prospects, Khamzat Chimaev. Before I get into his career, I want to talk about Khamzat's early life and childhood. Khamzat was born in Chechnya. Chechnya is buried deep in the centre of the North Caucasus Mountains. This region of the world has seen nothing but war and conflict since the 1940s. The country has been completely torn apart. Stalin completely wiped them out of the history books and Putin flattened their capital city. Out of the rubble came Islamic extremists, bloodshed and desperation. The peoples of Chechnya are very diverse. There are many religions and ethnicities from the region, including 3 language families and many subdivisions. Due to the region's constant warring with oppressing neighbours Russia and the Islamic extremists, the people of Chechnya have become renowned for their bravery, skills and savagery on the battlefield. Wrestling is also an extremely old tradition in the region, and naturally the same attributes that made them so feared on the battlefield have made them some of the best wrestlers in the world. Chechen-born wrestlers have represented many countries on many world stages, including the Olympics. Pretty quickly, wrestling was seen as a legitimate way these people could escape poverty and strive for a better life. Wrestling didn't just become a way of life in Chechnya, it grew to become a symbol of hope, fighting against terrorism with many gyms showing anti-terrorism signs on the walls. Every kid was pushed into wrestling and every kid believed that they would be the next world champion. All working tirelessly to prove themselves while all pushing each other to new levels. It was from this bubbling broth of blood, sweat and hand grenades that Khamzat Chimaev was born. He exploded into the mainstream MMA scene last July as he made his UFC debut on UFC Fight Island. He won 2 fights back-to-back only 10 days apart and finished both of his opponents, all while absorbing just 2 strikes.
Of course it's easy for me. I'm born from this country. When I was a kid, it was war in my country. Like everybody knows Chechnya, say like before how they was. And I like to fight in the cage and smash somebody. It's too easy. That's too easy. I do smash somebody, you get money, brother. It's perfect for me.
He's got a chill about him, the type that only comes from straight killers. His cold, emotionless mentality that seems synonymous with all the fighters that come from the Dagestani and Chechnyan region. He calls himself Boz, which means wolf in Chechen, and he's ready to smash everyone.
I'm the wolf, brother. So angry. We'll eat everybody, brother.
After winning 2 fights in 10 days, his legend only continued to grow as he was planning on taking on another 2 fighters back-to-back. Rumours appeared that he would be booked against Damian Maia at welterweight, who was ranked 6th at the time, but he was also had another fight in mind before fighting Maia. This guy was doing something never before seen in MMA. I mean, Cowboy Cerrone is famous for his consistent activity, and recently Kevin Holland has become a fighter well known for their willingness and eagerness to get back in the cage as soon as possible. It's a great business decision. As long as you're able to keep winning, it's proven to be one of the best ways to get in Dana White's good books, which for any UFC fighter can be make or break in the promotion. But Khamzat Chimaev is doing it differently. He's not just staying active, he's not just continuing to win, he's fighting in 2 different weight classes at the same time and climbing up the ranks at both middleweight and welterweight. But just listen to how Dana White speaks about him when asked what he thinks about his sudden rise in the UFC.
Guy's special. I've been in this game my whole life. I've never seen anything like him. He's special, he's different. He wants to fight again. So, you know, I've never been in a position where I'm like, who's next? How do we get him a fight? How do we get him over here? How do we do this? How do we do that? It's fun and I like it. And I think when you're a fight fan, a guy like this is the type of guy that you love to watch and follow and hate, you know, and whatever it might be. This guy is one of the most special fighters I've ever seen, if not the most special guy that I've ever come across.
When was the last time you heard Dana speak about someone like that? I'm not sure he ever has. Khamzat Chimaev is only 9-0 in his MMA career. Sure, his record is impressive, he's undefeated, he's never gone past the 2nd round because he's finishing everyone, but he's still considered by many to be unproven and hasn't done enough yet to prove that he can hang with the elite. For others though, especially those close to him who train with him, they seem to need less time to make their decision on how great a fighter he is. From his very first training session, his coaches knew they had someone special. He did come into MMA with some incredible Chechen wrestling skills, but just listen to how his coach speaks about his introduction to Khamzat.
Khamzat came in like maybe 3 years ago, and he was just a wrestler. No MMA, no grappling, no striking. And from day one, I saw that he had the eye of the tiger. He was a savage. He would not accept defeat. I once got a call like with Alex, and he reminded me a little bit of Khamzat as well. I got a call exactly the same way. I got a call. This is a beast here. He coming in, and he's beating up guys that are like doing this for like a long time, and he's only been doing it for like 1 month. And I was thinking to myself, who is this guy?
It's clear that from the very beginning, Khamzat has been impressing his coach and has stood out amongst the pack. Now, at the start of this year, 2021, Khamzat had a fight booked against number 3 ranked welterweight Leon Edwards. The fight was set to take place on January 20th, with both fighters having a lot at stake. It would have been an incredible fight, and if Khamzat was able to get past Edwards, it would have finally proved himself as a legitimate contender at welterweight, and would have probably found himself fighting for the belt in the near future. However, right before the fight was set to take place, Khamzat was pulled from the bout after testing positive for COVID-19.
He can't train. His friends called me and like, hey, Khamzat can't even speak, you know. His fever is so high, his headache is so much, you know, muscle pain and everything. And then an ambulance came and got him to the hospital, you know. And even when he was in the hospital, he called me like when he called me, he thought he was going to die. He was really bad, you know.
Khamzat's recovery was slow, and him being the fighter that he is wanted to jump back into training straight away instead of rest. Reports that he was coughing up blood during training started to emerge, and after several weeks he even publicly stated that he would be retiring from the sport, as his symptoms appeared to be getting worse over time. And for a few weeks Khamzat disappeared. No more media coverage, no more training footage. Finally, after a month of radio silence, news came out that he'd left Sweden, which had been his home since his family had fled war-ridden Chechnya for a better life when he was just a young boy some 20 years ago. A new scar can be seen on his neck from surgery which he needed due to the complications that followed after he caught corona, and he had been spotted hanging out with the now infamous Chechen leader / Warlord Kadyrov. I'm honestly not too sure what I think about this one. On one hand, Khamzat is probably going to be treated like royalty in Chechnya and financially may never find himself in a better possible position. However, this arrangement is without a doubt a double-ended sword. Kadyrov may like to post pictures of himself posing with cute animals and doing his duties as an ambassador of Chechnya and the Islamic religion, but he's without a doubt one of the most dangerous men in the world. He's a warlord. He walks around with his own private trained military and shows them off. He's committed countless crimes against his own people, and at one point even started rounding up gay people from all over the country and killing them. This caused global uproar, and Putin himself was asked to step in and control his chosen leader of Chechnya. I'm really not sure what all this will mean for Khamzat's career. Now he's fighting out of Chechnya, it's unclear if this will cause complications when trying to fight in the US. But aside from that, we've already started to see some subtle changes in Khamzat's personality which I can't help feel is due to his newfound bond with Kadyrov. But two things stick out for me. First thing I found odd was when he was on FaceTime with Darren Till, and out of nowhere he pulled his flick knife out. Now I know we all love Khamzat for the way he comes across as an absolute cold killer, but this is definitely something we have never seen him do before. The second thing, and definitely the most striking thing to happen since his reunion with his home country, is how his whole attitude changed towards Khabib and his Dagestani group of fighters. Recently he posted on an Instagram video by Kadyrov, who was talking about Khabib being a project for the UFC and how his record was protected by them. Khamzat responded with, "We will rip him apart as well if he wants it." This obviously didn't sit well with Khabib's cousin, who saw the post before it was deleted and responded with the following tweets. Khamzat, I see you changed your clothes quickly. After moving to Sweden and writing a complaint to your own Chechen Republic that you are being harassed there, you received documents for a good life in Sweden. But now, gaining glory, I look changed. Now you're back and living in Chechnya, and all is well with you. I am happy for you. Don't lose that comfort zone. Not long ago in America you sat and ate with us at the same table, worked out in the same hall, went to the same mosque together and called us brothers. And now you write that you're going to tear someone up? Yes, I agree. Everyone has the right to express their opinion. But be careful with your words. This reveals that before this recent outburst, Khamzat and Khabib's family were on very good terms. So what's the deal? Why the sudden change in attitude? Well, Chechnya and Dagestan are bordering countries. They have a very ancient history of war and tribal disputes, dating back hundreds of years, and although things between the two countries are definitely improving a bit, they are still a little iffy. In fact, Khabib's father himself was heavily involved in peace parties trying to put an end to the constant war in between the two countries. Many of these meetings, Khabib's father Abdul had met with Kadyrov face to face. Anyway, enough history. Khamzat Chimaev may not have any idea who he has gotten himself in bed with, or maybe he does and he was offered a deal he couldn't refuse. Regardless, it's a decision that undoubtedly has already seen big changes in Khamzat's personality, and who knows just how far this will go, and how it may impact his career. One thing's for certain, by now we all expected Khamzat to have had at least 25 fights in the UFC, and due to the global pandemic, he's been put on the sideline for almost a year now. Are we going to see a new and improved Khamzat Chimaev? Will the lasting effects of COVID prove too much for him to recover from? Or will his new friendship with the Warlord cost him more than he bargained for? All remains to be seen. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Before I finish up, I just want to say that I'm a huge fan of Khamzat's and I cannot wait for his next fight. He is pretty fresh in the sport and does still need to prove himself against the elite, but he is without a doubt the most promising rising star in the UFC right now, and his performances are undeniable thus far. A big shout out to my friend Blair for producing the amazing background music. If you're looking for a producer, mixer, or just love good music, then head on over to his page and give him a follow. That's the end of the video, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for more MMA content just like this and more. I'm your host, Geraint Lewis. See you next time. Peace out.
I love you. See you soon, boy.